So hello and welcome to today's video. For today's video I'm going to be going over some of the old hoaxes that used to go around about many of Rockstar's games. Now I'm not going to be talking about the myths that include the supernatural or things that just were never going to be in the game at all, such as aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, demons, monsters, King Kong, the Epsilon cult, angels, UFOs, clowns, zombies. We still listen to things that people have reported as myths in San Andreas. Bloody hell, enough of that. Anyway, but just general hoaxes like you might have heard in other games, for example like how to play as Luigi in Super Mario 64 by doing 500 very specific steps, or how to access that faraway island in Spyro 3's Midnight Mountain, or how to unlock and play as Oxide in Crash Team Racing. You get the kind of topic that we're going to be going over in this video, but only from Rockstar Games. So this video is going to be dedicated to those old childhood hoaxes we often heard on the playground from our friends, or on those really old internet forum boards. Maybe you yourself have heard some of these, maybe you haven't. But either way, this video is going to be a nostalgic kind of thing because you don't really get these kind of rumours much anymore, thanks to the internet disproving them within minutes thanks to data mining. Or, you know, clickbaited the absolute hell out of, because of course you're going to find Michael DeSanta's grave in GTA San Andreas. But anyway, let's start off by talking about Grand Theft Auto 3, and we're going to talk about the Shoreside Vale tunnels. So around Shoreside Vale, you can see a tunnel that's blocked off entirely. And this tunnel used to be home to its own fair share of hoaxes, with these tunnels being the way to the supposed fourth island you can unlock, and like many hoaxes there were some fair arguments to why this tunnel would open up. The first one being, the fact it's just like any other GTA map blocking obstacle, you know, ones that remove themselves once you've done a specific mission. The second fact being you can find a secondary entrance not too far from the first, which clearly shows these tunnels are linked. And thirdly, if you go so far away, you can see the obstacles have despawned, which makes the tunnel look wide open. And fourthly, the fact the place in the GTA 3 intro isn't seen anywhere in the main map, so naturally these tunnels must lead to that area. It never did of course, but it was said that to access this fourth island or to open the tunnels or whatever, you needed to do a variety of tasks ranging from flying the dodo so far over the hills, eventually you'd see the island below and you can try to land safely, or by getting 100% completion with maximum cash, and jumping into the barrier with the right sized truck, and many more. The tunnels were clearly never meant to be entered because if you do look from the one side you can see the wall. And the dodo method of flying over and seeing the supposed fourth island was technically true, but in the very loosest way possible, because using the dodo did let you see the area from the GTA 3 intro, but that was it. It was never even solid. Still, for quite some time people did wonder if a fourth island was going to be planned, but that was before Rockstar themselves had to step in and confirm there was never going to be a fourth island and it was only used solely for the intro. But another area in GTA 3 that was home to a lot of hoaxes was the airport. Because with GTA being best known for this chaotic game where you can blow up as many vehicles as you can, it's no surprise that the airport was going to be a target for such players. But the airport did have many hoaxes, from being able to fly these planes as helis to being able to blow them up, to which give credit for was seen in some pre-release material, so why not try it at least? But people who fell for these hoaxes soon learned that all these planes are just static props. No amount of RPGs would obliterate them at all, and there is no way to enter them. Now to be fair, there was also the massive plane you can see going to and from the runway, and that's clearly a vehicle. But despite being a vehicle, it seemingly has no collision at all. Your rockets go through it like it's a ghost, and even letting the plane run you over doesn't do anything. Although in fairness to this one, given the trailer showing the plane being blown up, I wouldn't be surprised if this was removed due to 9/11. It's not the best look to have an innocent plane landing only to be blown up after such an event. But anyway, on to GTA Vice City, because GTA Vice City is the one I remember most fondly with this. One of my friends at the time was a notorious bullshitter when it came to Vice City secrets that he discovered. The first one was apparently there was a secret room in Diaz's mansion which contained every single weapon available in the game. It wasn't the room Tommy can enter to go and pick up a few weapons, armour and some health, but there was a secret room in the save point room that you had to find a secret button somewhere in the mansion. I can't remember where he said it was, but apparently once you found it, an in-game notification pops up saying you discovered Diaz's secret room, go to Tommy's office. And the wall would be removed to reveal everything you can pick up. And the best thing is, I remember asking him to show me this, and he claims it's a once only thing and he couldn't do it again. I don't know why I believed him for that one, but yeah, I was a stupid child. Another thing I was told was there was a way you could break into Ken Rosenberg's office, and if you did there was £10 million waiting for you. Yeah, I did say pounds not dollars because, you know, we were really young and we're from Britain, so he was only familiar with pounds. I don't even know what the reasoning behind that one was, but it's just the kind of crap you heard back in the early 2000s. So while San Andreas was home to an infinite amount of mysteries involving the supernatural, it did have its own fair share of hoaxes that were much similar to the GTA Vice City and GTA 3 ones we covered just, with one of the big ones being Liberty City. So as you do when you're younger, you always assume there's more secret areas to the maps you're playing than there really are, and Liberty City in San Andreas was kind of thought of being this secret fourth city to San Andreas, especially since CJ does visit it during St. Mark's Bistro. So rumours were ripe about how to escape Liberty City, like how if you escaped the mission you could explore the entire GTA 3 map, and most methods of escaping were complete and utter bollocks. For example, the jetpack cheat. You can enable it, but you can't fly. The reasoning for this one is actually because, well, the Liberty City interior in the game itself is situated way high above the flying barrier, so, you know, you can't actually fly upwards, but yeah. This was before the super jump cheat was the best way to escape, and shortly after that, that's when people learned that Liberty City was rather lacking, to put it lightly. Now, to actually break away from this one for a second, I remember people saying how Liberty City used to scare the living shit out of them when they just fell from the floor, because how CJ just kind of falls into eternal nothingness, only before landing in invisible water with nothing in sight except the abyss. All the while you can see like flying jellyfish in front of you, also with no sounds at all, really, except for like the water, which is kind of mute itself. Which, to be fair, even in my 20s, recording this part was a little bit unsettling. Thank God I never did this at age 9, because I think it would scare me from going anywhere near San Andreas for a really long time. There was also apparently a guy who supplied a screenshot of CJ in Liberty City, and claimed that if you escaped St. Mark's you got some secret Liberty City mission, which did give a lot of credibility, as this screenshot was actually from the GTA San Andreas special intro. That's not the actual image he provided, but you can kind of see what I mean when I say it does look legitimate. If I saw this in 2007, I'm pretty sure I'd believe it. This stuff was infinitely more believable than 98% of other photographic proof of like Bigfoot and Leatherface and whatever. But enough talk about Liberty City, let's talk about something else, like sharks. So with GTA San Andreas being the first ever GTA to have the ability to swim, it didn't take long before sharks got brought up. Now the thing is, sharks do exist in the game. They're not cut content, but they are rare and completely harmless. But it didn't stop rumours saying how sharks would kill you on sight, and were on par with horror films. Sharks are said to appear randomly and would startle you like a jump scare, with them charging and grabbing CJ without any warning. I can imagine that probably did scare some people into staying at the sea for quite some time. Now if we're going to talk about GTA 5, then yes, sharks do act the way they're described in the San Andreas hoaxes. But another popular one was the Green Sabre. It's said that you can find and drive the Green Sabre that was used in the drive-by that killed CJ's mother. And apparently it was obtainable during the Green Sabre mission. If you went to the garages that tells you to meet him at, after the scene you could run into the place where Tenpenny and Smoke were at, and you could steal the Sabre for yourself. Which makes no sense because if you actually pay attention to the cutscene itself, you can see Pulaski pulling out the garage and I assume driving off somewhere. But still, people did provide pictures and screenshots, so it must be proof it's real. Well, no, not really, because the thing is, you can get a Green Sabre. Keyword is a Green Sabre, not the one from the cutscene, because all you have to do is find a Sabre, go to a trans vendor, paint it green, and that's it. You get the Green Sabre. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that the only people who sort of fell for these kind of hoaxes were those who completely forgot you could actually customise cars in this game. But now back onto Bully, because I've gone about nearly 10 minutes without talking about it, so I'm having withdrawal symptoms. Now seeing that Bully is my favourite Rockstar title, these are the ones I'm definitely most familiar with. One of the things that many Bully fans do complain about is how Rockstar handled its main cast, as all the Clique leaders, excluding Russell, and other main cast members like Pete and Gary just don't appear in free mode. So once you complete the game, they're gone for good. So there were loads of rumours going around on how you can meet all the characters in the game. And one of the ones I remember being is you had to hit 100% completion and then they'd spawn normally. And this was backed up somewhat because, well, there are ways you can meet characters like Gary, Ted, Johnny and the others without modding. Usually it's done in a very similar way to obtaining special cards in GTA. You just have to do something in a mission to fail it or pass it or whatever, and you do get a chance to talk to them. And they do act just like other NPCs. And the fact that Zoe got added to free mode after beating Gary, it did give some legitimacy, since it would be a pretty cool 100% reward, but no. The only way you can speak to these characters is by doing the specific methods. For example, after Slingshot you can rush down and speak to Ted by failing it, or speak to Gary after completing it. But all of them in free mode naturally? you can't do it. Another one was to do with a secret unlockable. So one thing that Buddy did differently versus that of other Rockstar titles was its unique unlockable system. There were always these small challenges hidden in the game that when you do them, you get a secret unlock message pop up, and a reward. Usually like some clothing item. And if you've played Buddy, you know the trio of ninja outfits that Jimmy unlocks being red for beating a big prank, green for hitting 1,000 targets, and black for getting all yearbook photos. However, there was a rumour circulating around the internet that there was a fourth ninja costume that you could unlock. This one was yellow, and how you'd unlock this outfit is pretty simple. You just knock out 1,000 people. This outfit never existed. At all. But yet, this outfit still found its way onto many unlockable cheat guides, telling you how to unlock it. There was people even asking if they needed it for 100% or not because they still haven't unlocked it yet, despite knocking out over 2,000 people or whatever. And finally, let's talk a bit about the Warriors. Because even the Warriors wasn't safe from the Hoaxes, one of the most common rumours being you can find weapons like pistols and shotguns hidden in every single level. Now guns, if I remember correctly, are only really used during the final boss fight with Luther, and are completely unusable by the player at any point during the game. But as you can expect, rumours were you could equip these kind of guns and it made the game much easier because you could just one-shot most people, and some people also swore you can use them to cheat other bosses as well and carry them into other levels. But no, guns for the player were never intended for the Warriors because it's a beat 'em up, not a shoot 'em up. So yeah, that was a bit of a retrospective look back at the many hoaxes that plagued Rockstar Games during the classic era. So which ones do you remember being told? I don't mean the supernatural ones, as I have to keep saying, but yeah, which ones do you remember being told? Were they from a friend? Did you read them on some internet forum board? Let me know which ones you were told down below, and yeah, thank you for watching this video and have a great day.